Good evening and welcome to Oschersleben A course, where we have round 3 of the NXTGEN PowerMax Group A1 Tourers. Should be an interesting race on Oschersleben. Bit of a tight track. I'm watching Jack Team 53 synopsis going round at the moment. The number 91 Milgo Ford Sierra Cosworth. We have 11 drivers in tonight. We have Cam 23 Days in his Mercedes, Shadow Stalker in his Audi, Traumatic Dave in the Sierra, Bob Mark 1 having a bit of an off moment there. He is in the Audi, Bruce Lee Harding in the Mercedes, and Randy Matz in the GTR. Johnny, being the person living his life to the fullest, being a Bean from Fall Guys. He is in the Audi. Les in the Ford, DY House in the Audi, Full Fish in the GTR, and Jack Team 53 Synopsis is in his Ford Cosworth. Things at the moment is Rally Matt is first on 33 points, Cam has 32, Les has 30, Vass on 26 with Full Fish 24, Bruce Lee Harding on 22, joint with Johnny. Jack is on 21 with DY House on 18, Traumatic Dave on 13, Bolt Mark 1 on 13, Shallow Stalker on 13, and Tim has 10 points with Ultimatum on 3. So at Oschersleben, a tight, twisty circuit, and it's going to favour the four-wheel drives massively, especially Full Fish. He is the main benefitor, shall we say, because this race is a top 4 reverse grid, which means the top 4 in the championship, i.e. Rally Matt, Cam, Les, and GT5 Vass, who Vass is not here at the moment. They have to start at the back of the pack. And around this circuit, I've heard rumours of the GTRs being in the minute 35 region. So if Fullfish can extract that sort of pace out of his GTR, he could be a strong favourite to win this race tonight as he comes up for his first lap time. And a 136.2 immediately, and I fear for most of the drivers there's more time to come with 6 minutes remaining. Not a bad time. The Sierra 138.4. I've heard that the Sierra not very quick around Oschersleben, but its tyres also do not last, which is not ideal for them. There's Les just crossing the line to set his predetermined time. There's Cam and Rally Matt. Jack just coming towards the end, coming towards the final sector. So, Oschersleben, built in 1997, the third permanent track built in Germany behind Nürburgring, as Jack spins out of the final turn, and that's going to ruin any chance of that lap. Third permanent circuit built in Germany after Hockenheim and Nürburgring, the first in what was the former East Germany region effectively. And to be fair, the circuit hasn't really changed too much. The only change has been the pit lane, and the first corner is a lot tighter than it used to be. 2.297 miles long, and it's an absolute cracker of a circuit as Jack goes back out in a fresh set of boots. There's four fish. I think that's Les just going around the front. It is, yeah. Cam, look for someone who's fairly close to the finish. There really is. I've watched a four fish as he's going around to complete his next flying lap. We'll go on board with four fish actually in the GTR in just a second as he drifts it all through the chalet. He goes past one of the Audis. So then on board with the GTR as we go through the Saxon-Anhalt curve up to the line. So turn one at Hotel, really tight 90-degree left-hander. That little gap there on the left, that's where the old circuit used to go. 90 degree, and then out and then re-tightens on the exit. You can see you can't quite get full throttle down until it's straight down to Roda. Has to roll can get again. It's quite a long, so you be patient with the throttle. Head up towards so now because of its triple left-hand nature. Through one, through two, a small straight before the third, and the long hairpin. Another one of these bends that just keeps on forever. Down to the chicane. Flick right, flick left, flick right. Be careful, track limits will do you in there. At the left, too much. Down, study on Gerard. We head into the chicane. Yeah, curb on the right hand side. Clip the curb on the left. You touch the curb on the exit. Then you're right. Right hand up. Then down the start finish straight. What can we do? Forrest's done a 136.2. Can he improve? Yes, he can. He puts us into the 35s, a 135.9, and that's the end of qualifying for the Nissan. D Whitehouse a 137.5 doesn't improve, or at least unless he might pass the line actually earlier than that. Johnny, Traumatic Dave, what can he do? He's on a 138.4. Puts in a 137.8, moves himself up into third place. Mark 1, lead 6 on it. Shannon doesn't improve. Can he improve? No, he cannot. Jack coming around the final corner, 36 seconds left. Got just enough time to be able to do another lap. But a 136.8 to go second quickest though. Still a full, nearly a whole second behind. D Whitehouse 7 currently will be the next man to set a time. He'll be also the first man to complete qualifying in terms of running out of time. And something's not right there with D Whitehouse's car. Either he's deliberately doing that, possibly due to a slowdown. Right, Dave has gone off. That's the chicane. Bruce Lee Harding will be the next person to cross the line. Obviously, even though, oh, he's lost the back end through the shell S, and that's going to ruin his lap time. He goes back to the pits. D Whitehouse is now doing a couple of practice starts. Bob's gone off. That's also at the chicane. So it's left to Shadow. So Cam's going around, but he can't. He's not allowed to go any quicker because of grid slot. So it's going to be Shadowstalker going to be the only man here who will have the potential to better his time. So 141.4 at the moment. He needs to get over a second, but I think he's now just invalidated his lap, courtesy of that right-hander. And I also believe Jack has just invalidated his lap as well. So no one's going to go any quicker in the final set of runs. Yeah, expect Jack to anchor on the brakes, take a grid slot, and do a practice start. So with qualifying over, let's have a look at the grid positions for the race. Four Fish lines up on pole position, a fantastic lap of 135.940, just inside the 136 range. And Jack puts it second on the grid in the Sierra. Then it's going to be D. Whitehouse alongside Traumatic Dave, the Battle of the Daves for row 2. Row 3 is Johnny and Bruce. Row 4 is Bob and Shadowstalker, the all Audi row there. Les and Cam line up for row 5, and at the back in 11th and on row 6 is Rally Matt 85, who's going to hope that the Skyline's grunt off the line is going to do him wonders when we get underway here. So we sink in 13 laps of Oschersleben. We have the 3 red lights for the 3rd time this year. We are green. And it should be Jack who's got a better getaway than the Nissan. The Nissan, not a great starting machine. Even though it's 4-wheel drive, it's quite a heavy car to get off the line. Matt has made a position on Les as they head into the hotel for the first time. Jack going to keep around the outside. But Four Fish switches back through the second part, and Four Fish retakes the lead, and this is where the Nissan comes into its own. Down towards Hasserode. Jack all over the back of the GTR. Looks like gone away cleanly. Matt's lost that place to Les as well. Further back, Shadowstalker going backwards, but Four Fish still in the lead, heading through triple. And there you go, Limestone. Bruce is it up into 4th place there. So D. Whitehouse has gone backwards, but a 4-5/10th gap now in favour of Four Fish. Maybe enough there for Dave of a cut to potentially put him in trouble with the stewards. Jack's had a moment coming out of the chicane. And further behind, we got D. Whitehouse alongside Bob Mark 1. This is for 5th place, heading up towards the Shell S. Bob goes deep and D. Whitehouse switches back, but Bob's still on the inside. Bob eventually can seize that position. So D. Whitehouse up into 5th. Bruce is now up into 3rd place. Gaps Dave by a second, and Bob Mark 1 gets done by Cam going into the final corner. Johnny's gone backwards, he's got Matt on him, heading up towards Hotel. Meanwhile, Bob is having a bit of a go back, and it's going to be 3 wide coming into the Hotel for the 2nd time in this race. And Bob has been left out to dry. And again, more 3 wide action. And Matt's been held out to dry onto the grass there in the GTI. He's having a tough time getting through this pack. Bob a bit wide, realises Matt's there at last minute, doesn't cut him off. Matt having a bit of a wiggle coming out. Up towards triple. Matt thinks better of it against Bob. Meanwhile, Bruce has got Traumatic Dave right behind him, heading into the chicane. That Mercedes, the chassis is very, very good. Running that did get Shadowstalker in the end. Looks like Shadowstalker made a slight mistake because he's lost a good couple of seconds to the Nissan. As it all calms down now. See, it all comes down. Bob and Shadow are going to start getting close. They head into the Shell S. And both of them, all Bob in the background. Has a bit of a slide. Cam now has a penalty. They will have a penalty. That is for exceeding track limits. Or at least what the game describes as track limits. And Jack, there's Jack. Jack is down to 7. So once again, Jack has made a mistake in that Sierra Cosworth, and it's cost him a few places here. Say a few, he's cost him 5 because he was running second. Now he's gone round again into Hotel. And Jack down to 9th place then. Have the tyres already gone on that Ford Sierra Cosworth because the back end is looking about as sketchy as it can. Meanwhile, Les has Cam just behind into triple. On board with Cam as we're looking to make that move, and we've got it done on the outside of the right-hand triple. Yeah, you can see Les is now starting to struggle with the back end of the Sierra Cosworth. And here comes Johnny. I think Traumatic Dave now suffering the same symptoms. The rear end not gripping. You can just see the confidence of all the Sierras have just vanished. And D. Whitehouse has been putting in some good times. And he's right on the back of Bruce Lee Harding. In fact, he's going to go down the inside of Bruce Lee Harding coming into turn 1 at the Hotel. Well, he goes a bit deep, bit of a tap, nothing too major though. Bruce looking to the outside, I don't think that's quite going to work, but if Dave runs a bit wide, he's there to take advantage. But Dave does not run wide. D. Whitehouse, lovely move into Hotel, using the extra grip from the 4-wheel drive. As further behind, Cam looking to go around the outside of the hairpin. That's at Hasseralda. Instead, Cam's now under attack from Les. That looked a bit interesting from Les. He has kept on the road, but he's now got Johnny just behind him. You can see the Sierras, they're struggling, and they're struggling badly. As they go through the chicane, Cam... Oh, there goes Traumatic Dave. Well held in the end from Dave, but it's going to cost him a heap of positions, because Rally Matt not going to get past because Johnny... Oh, contact by the looks of it between Johnny and Dave. Into the Shell S. That looked like a touch of contact because Traumatic Dave suddenly went left and entered the wall at the start of the Shell S. Oh, Johnny looking a bit aggressive coming into the final corner on Rally Matt. Doesn't pay off. But Rally Matt up now into 6th place. He'll be looking to get higher. There's Traumatic Dave. Down to 9th after that incident with Johnny. Whether that gets sent to the stewards, I don't know. It could well do. But count 1, 2, 3 Tears. Currently in 4th place. He's catching Bruce. Bruce had a bad lap last time around on 40.3. We all know Cam is the master of that Mercedes. Looking to catch up to Bruce, get on the podium. Try and make up as many points as he can on Rally Matt. In the championship, there's only 1 point between Cam and Rally Matt right now. I wouldn't say we've really seen Matt stretch his legs tonight either yet. So once he gets into some decent clean air, because now he's got Les ahead of him. It'll be interesting to see what time he can pull out of the bag. And see if he can try and claim the bonus point. Actually, there is no bonus point for fastest lap. There's only bonus point for pole position tonight because it is not Turbo Monday. So Matt just looking to limit the damage then tonight. As Bruce goes deep into hotel and Cam says thank you very much. I think... yeah, Bruce just about keeps it ahead of Les and Randy Matt there. As Matt now looking to the inside of the hairpin left. Can't quite get there. Les runs a bit wide and Matt's seen the opportunity, sends it up the inside. Nothing Les can do about that one. Great bit of driving from Randy Matt. Up into 5th place. Bruce is next on his list. And he's not too far away. We go on board with the skyline. He's just gone a bit deep after triple. Through the chicane. And down to the Shell S. Cam isn't too far up the road either here. He's only about 2 seconds behind Cam is Randy Matt, so he's managed to do a 1:37.0. In the brakes into the final corner. We're going towards the halfway point of this race. And here comes Matt. Look to the outside of the Mercedes of Bruce Lee Harding into hotel. Mike David actually lost more places, now down at the back, and Randy Matt completes the move. Fantastic stuff from the league leader. Les looking to try and follow through. I don't know how Les has managed to keep the rears of that car still going, but I can tell you now, Jack is been struggling with the Ford Sierra as Les sends it down the inside of Bruce in the hairpin left at turn 3. Bruce though trying to fight this coming out towards triple. Can't quite do so because of the speed of that Sierra Cosworth. Les doing a fantastic job with a car well, it shouldn't really have the grip anymore to be doing that. In the chicane, Bruce is still all over the back, and Forfish has made a mistake somewhere because the lead has been cut to 2.9 seconds. Oh, Les getting squarely out of chicane, and Bruce sees his opportunity. Looking to the inside, but once again, the power of the Ford Sierra outdrags the Mercedes. Matt was a full 7/10 quicker than Cam last round, so that's going to be an interesting one to see what happens. Johnny, bit of a bad lap last time on 39.6 compared to Jack's 38.0. And running Matt, gap at back to 1.9 seconds. It is gradually coming down for Matt. If Matt can pass Cam here, get onto the podium, he'll extend his current championship lead. .15 points for third. 13 points for 4th, so 2 points, which, although doesn't sound a lot right now, in terms of the championship later on, this result could be a deciding factor. As Matt just goes a bit sideways. Oh, he's lost the rear end going through the hairpin left. I don't know how, but he's kept it in a straight line. He's going to lose out big time though to Cam. 1.9 seconds, that could have been a better gap for him. They're on lap number 9. Meanwhile, Jack is still trying to get to the back of Johnny so he can try and make a move. But again, you see the dominance of the four-wheel drive system there out of the corner. Shadowstalker has Bob not too far behind. And Dave really struggling with the Sierra now at this point, 9 laps in. Sierra's tyres will not be looking too pretty, I can guarantee you that one. Oh, that's an interesting line from Shadowstalker. He's going to go off of the chicane and Bob Mark 1 will go through. Just like that. Matt now 2.6 down on Cam. Cam needs to make good headway here. This could put Cam in the front seat of the championship after tonight. No, Jack is still... Oh, Jack's just cut a corner. That's what Jack's done. We've just gotten away with it. Still 1.9 the gap now between Cam and Rally Matt. Matt needs to start pushing. Gap gradually closes. 37.7 from Cam, 36.6 from Rally Matt this late in the race. What he needs, that's a good 1.1 seconds. He does that again, he'll put himself within 0.4 of a second to Cam with 2 laps remaining after this lap. Oh, and Jack has finally got past Johnny there. He's now up into 7th place with the Sierra. I think he won't get any further unless Bruce makes a mistake. But Bruce looking like he's taking it slightly more on the steady side. Just getting to the end in the top 6. Obviously, not really a real drive circuit, this one. Well, Shadowstalker has re-overtaken Bob. I think that was through Hotel. Dramatic Dave is gradually closing in on these boys. So he'll be looking interested. Very, very shortly. 1.8 seconds still the gap. So Rally Matt has not been reeling in Cam. Has Cam just responded this time around? The gap hovering around 2 seconds. 2 laps to go. It's looking harder and harder for Rally Matt to take this final podium spot, although he's taking a lot of time out of Cam coming out of the final corner. 37.2 plays a 37.1, so a tenth of a second for Rally Matt. 1.5 seconds to go. 2 laps remaining for the Nissan GTR man. I'll tell you what else is interesting. Les is at a bad lap of 40.5. So Bruce is now closing in on him. 1.3 seconds between these two. It's all starting to hot at the end of this race. Meanwhile, the battle for 9th, 10th and now 11th is in full flow, because Shadowstock has Bob, who's got Dramatic Dave. Now Dave should get a good run out of the final corner. He should get good pace, although the top end of that Sierra not quite working for Dramatic Dave as they enter Hotel. Bob, that looks like an extremely late move from Bob. Well spotted by Shadowstock to not close the door, but Bob, what a dive bomb that was. Down the inside at Hotel, and Shadowstock gone to the inside, and Traumatic Dave loses the rear and has a bit of a spin. Great move from Bob though, late on the brakes. Shadowstock good to see it coming. That could have been a disaster for both Audi drivers. And Rally Matt looks like he's pushing a little bit to try and close the gap. He's got it down to 9/10 of a second. And it's 7/10 of a second now. He crossed the line, 36.6 for Rally Matt. 37.8 for Cam. We're going to stick with this battle because this is looking very juicy. This one around Les quicker than Bruce. Rally Matt all over the back of the Mercedes at Cam. 1, 2, 3 days. Good traction out of the hairpin. Cam covers the line into triple, but does he? Oh, Matt's there though. Cam has to back out. Cam's gone wide. Oh, he just clipped the grass going through triple. Cam's done well to keep the car ahead of Matt so far. Down to the chicane. Matt's not going to look here. Too risky of a move. Surely into the Chalet. That's where Matt's prime opportunity's got to be. Matt looks. Matt doesn't quite get there. It looks like it's going to have to be the exit of the final corner then. Meanwhile, Fourfish. We haven't seen much of him because he's got in the lead. He's driven away. He's managed the gap. It's Fourfish who wins here at Oschersleben, followed by D. Whitehouse. And Rally Matt gets a bit of a twitch, but Cam does have that penalty. Whether he appeals it or not will be interesting. Provisionally, Rally Matt does claim that final podium place from Cam due to a on-track penalty. Les is going to finish 5th. I think Jack's made a mistake. Bruce will finish in 6th. Johnny, otherwise known as Bean Flicker, is going to come home in 7th place, but he does have that penalty as well. I think Jack's going to be within distance. No, Jack's not in distance, so Jack finishes in 8th place. A hard race for him in the Sierra. Shadowstalker fends off his competition to get 9th because Bob's made a mistake somewhere and has dropped off the back of these two. But another solid result from Shadowstalker. Fantastic to see him doing well. 9th place for him. Dave will finish in 10th. Again, a bit like Jack, a hard race, and that's the Cosworth. Bob Mark 1 will come across the line for 11th. So, provisional results for the Paramax Group A1 Tours. Round number 3 from Oschersleben Acorns. Fourfish takes the victory from D. Whitehouse 7. Rally Matt takes 3rd from Cam. Les is in 5th. Bruce Lee Harding is in 6th. Bean Flicker, otherwise known as Johnny, in 7th. Jack is in 8th. Shadowstalker 9th. Traumatic Dave is in 10th. Bob Mark 1 is 11th and last of tonight's runners. Next week we head to Sakito, and everyone's going to be in the BMW M3. So that should be an interesting race for the Group A ones. So do join us then next week for that one. Next up on the channel there will be the Paramax TC V8 League from Zolder. TCV8's from Zolder next up on the channel, so do stay tuned. That'll be live in about 10 minutes time. But for myself and everyone here, we'd like to thank Paramax for sponsoring the league. Thank you guys for watching tonight. Do join us again for more Paramax Group A1 action. For myself and everyone here, good night.